Hi, I'm Tracy Townsend. I will be bringing you through this week's top stories from around Columbus. The state's largest school district approved more than $50 million in budget cuts. This comes as Columbus City Schools says it's facing a major state funding shortfall. Central Ohio also saw its first big snowfall of this season. As some people say they aren't ready for more snow, others are embracing the winter weather and making the most of it. Plus, the city of Hilliard is getting feedback from residents on an ongoing housing survey. As the area continues to grow, officials are looking to see what's needed to keep up with the need for housing. Let's dive into these stories and more making headlines around our city.
That's my guy right there.
Jennifer Creighton's 12-year-old son, Colton, is a proud Columbus City Schools student. He goes to the district's preparatory school for boys. His school wasn't considered in this round of building closures, but it was discussed during last year's.
Because I'm tired of this circle. If not this, then what? We can find solutions that balances everything and lessens this pain.
Creighton is a CCS graduate herself. She says to her, it's more important that the specialized programs like the ones for her son and those at Arts Impact remain. Tuesday night, the district voted to close these 4 school buildings: Duxbury Park Arts Impact, Fairwood Alternative, Como Elementary, and Columbus Gifted Academy.
Do you intend to keep your son in public schools?
I want to. Because that's his desire. He really loves the program at CCPSP, but as his parent, I have to think about what's best for him, because I'm not sure if everybody else is on board.
She's concerned about future closures and what might happen when her son gets to high school.
I just hope that they're approaching this with intentionality. I do like the fact that they adjusted the process on the transportation from the feedback on parents.
The district says many of its buildings are old and expensive to maintain. Closing and consolidating buildings where the students could fit in elsewhere saves valuable cash. The board also approved staffing cuts, including 60 administrative positions and an undetermined amount of other staff. The Education Association president, John Coneglio, says the district should take it slow.
So we think that attrition would be the best way to go. Eliminate positions, not people. And that can be done. We have unfilled positions in the district right now.
And he says no matter what decision is made in terms of staffing cuts, that their teachers will continue to step up to provide the best education they can for the students of Columbus. At Columbus Gifted Academy, Colin Dorsey, 10 TV News.
To understand the funding crisis Columbus City Schools is in, Ohio Democrat Burl Brown Piccolantonio of Gahanna says you have to understand the Ohio Fair School Funding Plan. It passed in 2021. The idea is that it would calculate a base cost to give a quality education to kids in our state and leave a little wiggle room for kids who need extra services or help. It was supposed to be implemented in phases, and the last one was expected to go into effect by 2027. But she says it wasn't included in the 2026-2028 state budget. And according to CCS, that's left a gap of $2 billion for Ohio schools.
The formula is still in place. It just is a matter of will and choices that will get made in the next budget cycle at the state, which that'll be in 2 years.
But 2 years is a long time to absorb that kind of cost. So here are some of the short-term fixes she's proposing in the meantime.
Is there something that you feel like outside of the budget could happen from a state legislative perspective to help ease some of the pain we're seeing from these school districts?
The restrictions related to busing, the penalties that get imposed, things that we can do to help improve the workforce and make it a desirable job for people to have. Those things can happen at the state level.
And in the long term, she says people need to push for a different outcome next budget season.
So many people, I mean, they are honestly they're not able to contribute what they are currently paying in property taxes, much less more. What I worry about is people starting to turn on each other instead of putting the pressure where it needs to be, which is here at the State House.
White was a seasoned law enforcement officer spending decades here in Madison County and as a special agent for the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigations. In a Facebook post, the Madison County Sheriff wrote, Lieutenant White served the citizens of Madison County with honor, integrity, an unwavering commitment His service and sacrifice will never be forgotten. Lieutenant White began his law enforcement career in 1996 with the Clark County Sheriff's Office. White worked as a special agent with BCI from 2008 to 2018, investigating major felonies and homicides as a member of the crime scene unit. For his work on the Pike County Road and Murder Task Force, White was among those awarded the AG's Distinguished Law Enforcement Group Achievement Award in 2021. Attorney General Dave Yost said in a statement, Lieutenant Brian White embodied the badge. He was the ultimate cop's cop. His death is a devastating loss to Ohio's law enforcement community. I offer my deepest condolences to his wife Janelle and their family, and to his colleagues at the Madison County Sheriff's Office and Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation. And the Madison County Sheriff tells me he and the family are still making funeral arrangements. In London, Lacey Crisp, 10 TV News.
Planned Parenthood has officially closed its doors here along West Broad Street. The organization says they had to let go of about 17 staff members because of funding cuts.
Planned Parenthood of Greater Ohio says about 40% of their patients used Medicaid. But after the big beautiful bill passed over the summer, those patients were no longer allowed to go to Planned Parenthood. They say that change in the volume of patients has led to closing the clinic in Franklinton.
Have to lay off staff is an incredibly hard decision for Planned Parenthood of Greater Ohio. All of this is in order to continue to stay open, to see our patients, and we are continuing to work with our supporters.
Lauren Blauvelt, Executive Director of Planned Parenthood Advocates of Ohio, says that closing the clinic that provided health care for people in Franklinton is difficult.
Birth control, any kind of birth control that a patient that works for the patient, cancer screenings, pap smears, STI testing and treatment. We also provided primary care, we provide pregnancy tests and other wellness exams.
Mike Gonadakis, chairman of Ohio Right to Life, says there are other health care options.
We're blessed in Central Ohio with great health care options, especially for low-income women, pregnant women in this case. So Planned Parenthood is not needed.
Gonadakis says there is another option for women just blocks away.
There is a ministry called Lower Lights Ministry, which is a federally qualified health center in Franklinton, just a couple streets away from the now closed Planned Parenthood, that has grown leaps and bounds. Countless women, children, pregnant, low income.
Planned Parenthood of Greater Ohio says the lack in funding won't stop them from doing their work.
And we're looking at every opportunity for the future to stay open, to serve the community. That's why we have the virtual health center open.
And Planned Parenthood says all patients that have come to this Franklinton location will now be going to their location in North Columbus. Reporting in Franklinton, Tara Jabor, 10 TV News.
Families from all over the Columbus area can come to the NEMAP food pantry to get dry goods like instant potatoes or cake mixes or canned goods, including evaporated milk, and fresh foods such as fruit, vegetables, and meat.
It helps, like the extra canned goods, the milk, and everything like that. It's perishables.
Jodeci Tatum is leaving the pantry with a cart full of milk, meat, and other family food essentials.
That fresh fruit?
Yeah, so the fruit, my daughter loves fruits. Like she makes her, she has a juicer. So she makes her own juices and stuff. So that's going to come in handy a lot for her.
Food sorted and assembled by the hands of a team of volunteers.
So we are loading boxes for DoorDash. It's one of the ways that we deliver food to folks.
We anticipate the rest of this year and next year to be, they need to be very great.
NEMAP Executive Director Roy Clark says the pantry serves 150 to 200 people every day, 6 days a week. They can walk in or order a delivery. He says demand spiked in November with the government shutdown and the delay in SNAP benefits. It has stayed steady with concerns about the cost of living.
Food preparation is our thing, and that means using the money we get the best way we can.
The pantry is one of more than 600 Mid-Ohio Food Collective partners in 20 counties. The collective says it's dealing with about $5.5 million in federal and state funding and product cuts, so it has less food for its partners.
what we've seen is that we have more hungry people to feed and less resource coming in, and so we really are working to maximize everything that does.
Maximizing for people like Jodeci Tatum, who's thankful NEMAP Food Pantry is here.
Oh, it's very helpful. I've been coming here since before the pandemic, and it's still helping to this day.
And for those who can't make it to the NEMAP Food Pantry during business hours, they can order online and then come pick it up from these lockers on their schedule. In Columbus, Doug Petcash, 10 TV News.
Residents tell me, especially with the growth in the area, they hope they can keep the deputies to keep an eye on the township, and they hope the two sides can come together.
It makes you feel good knowing that they're watching out for everybody.
David Morris has lived in Etna Township for 23 years. He says he likes having Licking County Sheriff's Office deputies assigned to his community.
I have noticed that the Sheriff's Department has cruised a lot in this neighborhood.
The township's contract with the Sheriff's Office expires on December 31st, and a new contract hasn't been signed.
Nothing about the sheriff's contract, nothing about, that's the least priority for us. It's, you know, emergency services, zoning enforcement. We don't have zoning enforcement. That's not being done. So it's very critical. I'm hopeful that maybe this next board, it'll kind of do a reset and, you know, change in leadership, but we'll see.
Right now, 4 deputies are dedicated to Etna Township. The township pays for the cruisers and the deputies' salaries.
You know, I think it's been a good partnership so far. I think it's good for the township residents. It's good for us. It's clearly our busiest township. I think from January of this year to October 31st of this year, we handled just under 7,000 calls for service in the township. And it's nice to have those guys assigned to that area, and response times are quicker, and you know, it's just nice to have that extra manpower in that area for them.
The township has asked for an extension, but because of the deputies' union contract that allows them to request a shift in a coverage area, Licking County Sheriff's Office Colonel Chad Dennis says they can't grant an extension.
We'll still provide service, police service out there. It just won't have any assigned positions in the township.
What would it mean to the township if this contract isn't signed?
I think immediately it would be a loss of, I guess, response time. You know, obviously everything will be responded to, but it would take a lot more time. And many people don't realize there's not as many deputies patrolling the entire county as you would think.
Yes, I'm concerned about it because, you know, it's going to leave us hanging high and dry.
Morris wants to continue seeing the deputies in his neighborhood and has one thing to say to the leaders.
We need to get it together so we can have some protection around here.
The sheriff's office tells me if there isn't a new contract signed, the deputies currently assigned to Etna Township will be spread out throughout the county. In Etna Township, Lacey Crisp, 10 TV News.
The first thing a lot of people will check when trying a new business is the online reviews. So when a Powell business owner suddenly saw a flood of one-star ratings from people he'd never worked with, he knew something was wrong.
It's been 18 months since Robert Kohler opened his drain cleaning business in Powell.
It's been going really well. We started off really strong, and we've continued to build on that momentum.
That's why he was confused when the bad reviews started pouring in.
We're like, okay, we're getting attacked. Our reputation's getting attacked.
The reviews came in one by one, minutes apart. Each one-star ratings from people claiming to be customers, with names like Ewan Ewan, Mooin Mooin, and even Jones Jones.
Terrible experience. The work took twice as long as promised. Tiles were uneven, messy. I would never hire them again.
But you don't do tiles.
But we don't do tiles.
The last review from Gooin Gooin directed Kohler to call a Pakistani phone number.
I called them just more out of curiosity to see what they would ask for. They asked for $5,000. I wasn't going to pay any of that.
The Better Business Bureau says this review bombing is happening locally and across the U.S.
Is this considered extortion?
It really is. It's a way to make this business feel like they have to pay in order to avoid a loss of their customer base.
The BBB warns engaging with scammers can encourage them.
If the business does pay, it oftentimes doesn't stop the reviews. It just lets the scammer, the bad actors know that they are willing to pay, and they double down.
Kohler reported the scam to Google and federal agencies that monitor online crimes. He says a few bad reviews can really hurt a small business, especially one as new as his.
It can derail your business entirely.
Kohler was able to post about the scam on Facebook, and he says enough people reported these fake reviews, and Google was able to take them down pretty quickly. Google has even rolled out a merchant extortion report form so small businesses can easily report this scam. We'll include that information on our website. Reporting in studio, Carla Rogner, 10 TV News.
Hilliard should be a place for everyone.
Tim King loves living in Hilliard.
We picked Hilliard in 1988 because we could afford a very nice home, a new home.
In the nearly 40 years since, he's raised a son in Hilliard schools, served on city council, and watched the area around him boom.
And the growth is tremendous.
Hilliard's population is expected to grow to 54,000 people by 2050. That's about 17,000 more people from just 5 years ago. That growth, along with the city's 2023 comprehensive plan, driving a new housing study. Its purpose, to answer a central question: what kinds of housing does Hilliard need, and how can the city create them?
And the idea is to get the right types of houses so that people that you that want to come back and live, or that the types of employees that you want to attract for the businesses that you want to have, places that they can afford and have a desire to live.
On Wednesday night, the city holding its first public meeting asking residents what housing options they want to see more of and where they should go. For many residents, affordability is top of mind.
At my stage in life, if you do live here and you've made a home here, it ought to be possible to keep it your home.
As officials gather public feedback, Jackie Yeoman, Hilliard's deputy planning director, cautioning for patience.
The study is not going to have specific developments that will come out of it. Instead, it's going to provide recommendations for policy changes, potentially code changes. It'll look at incentive mechanisms.
Another public meeting is planned for the spring, before council votes to adopt the study's findings in May.
Really, the next steps will be taking the recommendations of the study and starting to implement those, which would then ultimately lead to housing. So we're not going to see new housing developments come out of the study immediately. It's really a long-term goal to look at how and where we're going to build over the next 20 plus years.
Caleb spent his morning shoveling his friend's sidewalk.
And I do this to help people out. I'm a handyman.
He told us he doesn't mind cleaning up, especially after the first big snow of the year.
It's a season for this, so you gotta live in it and go through it.
Chuck Wilson spent the morning cleaning the snow off the sidewalks near his church. He told us the snowfall came as a bit of a surprise.
I think they do okay with the main arteries, but Franklinton here usually doesn't see a snowplow until it's really, really bad.
Wilson says he'll be happy if this is the last snow of the year, even though that probably won't be the case.
Well, I'm done with it now for the year, so I'm good. If it doesn't come again, I'm fine with that. So my wife loves the snow, but my grandkids love the snow, but I'm done with it. So.
While some people are busy cleaning off their cars, scraping off the snow, other families are here at this hill enjoying the weather.
Well, we just knew this was the first big snow, and Grace and William love sledding, and this is actually William's first time, so we're out here to have a lot of fun.
James Roach and his children spent the morning taking on this hill.
What do you like about sledding? That you get to go sledding and it goes loose. I have a school day off, so I'm pretty lucky today.
Roach says his family was looking forward to the first significant snow of the season.
This is a favorite in the neighborhood.
The snow brought a lot of happiness for these kids. Some kids even set up a little ramp to make things more interesting.
We came here to sled and we got an idea to make a snow jump over there, and when we sled down we can jump off it. It's super fun and I really like it. Woo!
Reporting in Franklin County, Tara Jabor, 10 TV News.
That's a wrap on this week's edition of Around Columbus, your look at the stories shaping Central Ohio. Thanks for spending time with us. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you next time. And don't forget, you can always get the latest updates on the go with the free 10 TV News app.